Welcome into the Bearcat Den on Coleman's Live 95.5 and on Coleman's Live 95.5's Facebook page. I'm Tommy Warhurst alongside Coleman head football coach Trent Walker. Coach, thanks for coming to the Bearcat Den.
Always glad to be here.
Sunshine outside, hot day of practice today.
Warmer than, you think you're getting into what they call it, false fall. We've had a few false falls mornings, and so the guys have kind of got a little to sleep, and I said, look, it's still going to be warm at kickoff. Yeah. We're not into that. I mean, the fans will enjoy it. It'll be very comfortable for them, but if the guys that are wearing the pads and doing all the things, I said it's still going to be, pretty warm. So we've been talking about hydration and how that plays a factor and all the good things.
First 2 weeks of the season kind of spoiled us, kind of feeling more like mid-October
than they had some October
August and September.
But we're, like I said, we take our hydration and nutrition program. We're learning how to do that. I say it's been a process these last few weeks, but, I say it's football season. I'm running a football program when guys are walking around with a gallon jug of water. Yeah. That's kind of my thing. We call it, hump day hydration. I mean, at Wednesday, we think hydration plan really starts. You can't wait till Friday. It's too late at that point. So you got to be getting that hydration throughout the week.
Got a big game coming up tomorrow night at Oliver Woodard Stadium. Another big region game. The Jasper Vikings are in town. We'll dive into the Jasper game in a few moments. First, let's go back to last Friday, Coach. Another road game, a region game, and a very tough place to play against a very good Athens football team. Herm Edwards said years ago, you play to win the game. But at the same time, we didn't necessarily win the game, but I think we got a lot better and learned a lot about ourselves last week.
Yeah, I think you said it this week. I've heard somebody say we played our best game. Yeah. We came up short. We played our best game of football. You do play. I mean, what a high school football game to be a part of. Kind of can listen back to it to kind of get a feel for the game. Like, what a fun game. I'm sure it was. Eastside was nervous at different times. If you were I told our staff, if you were a neutral observer, that'd been a fun game to watch.
Yeah, for sure.
The swings, the momentum, the scoring. I mean, it was, so I was, blessed to be a part of it, blessed the way our guys competed. And, honestly, the way they just kept fighting. I mean, to be down twice on the road by double digits, again, with the youth that we have, that is a big deal to come back.
We take the opening kickoff. The first scripted plays, if you guys script them, were phenomenal. We go right down the field and burn off about 5 minutes of clock. Chance Hauser scores on a 3-yard run. We're up 7-0.
Yeah, I think I'd love to give folks that tune into this den a little bit of inside access. I think that's part of you spend your time listening to us. I'd love to tell you that's true. We were actually having headset issues.
Oh wow!
So we're getting every other third word from Coach Hackbar from the press box. You were up there in that press box. It's kind of an old metal submarine, and we think we had some kind of interference issue. Yeah. And so we're sitting there, hearing that right there. So our coaches on the sideline, Coach Ty Campbell, who's been, he coached me when I played, and then Connor Adams both, responded and started calling the plays, and without Coach Hackbar's input. And so that's why I took a timeout so early. Yeah. It was a third down. Everybody thought I took a timeout because the third down was so important. I took a timeout because we didn't have a play.
Yeah.
And so we took a timeout there. I got everybody composed. Our coaches did a great job getting composed. They didn't let the players know that. There's no need. The players don't need to know that information. So we kept that in, amongst ourselves and got a great plan, and we went down and scored. So we joked that, the drive was the most chaos. We scored a touchdown on the first drive of the game. That's now, another Bob Jones. We started fast and drove down and we didn't score, but that's a marker of good things going on. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you think back to the two teams we've played, we've 3-and-outed 2 of them. Yeah. And so I think that, to drive a ball down the field and punch it in, what a shot in the arm that was for a football team to believe on the road.
Speaking of 3-and-outing them, we score, we kick off to them, 3-and-out, they send their punter on, which was the quarterback last week.
Yes.
And ball goes over his head out of the back of the end zone for a safety. We're 6 minutes in the game, Coach. We're up 9-0. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking this is not how I scripted this up in my dreams last night. I mean, it's the perfect scenario, but it's not how I saw this game going at all. Here you are, not only with a lead, but you've got, a lead, and it's because of one of their errors, and you're about to get the ball back. Right. I mean, I was sitting there going, this has got that kind of feel to it, but also, I've coached a long time to know it's a long 48 minutes.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, but, what an opportunity to be the kids. You can see that our young people started to believe, that whatever we wanted to do was possible.
Athens gets the ball. We get the ball after the safety, end up punting the ball back to them, and then they go on a run with a minute left in the first quarter, and then halfway through the second quarter, and score 3 times in a row on us.
If I go back, we get the ball down there, and we're moving the ball again on that second drive, if you remember, and then we get I think sometimes I use the play that leads to fourth down as a gauge on whether to go for it or kick it. And we had a good first down play. We got about 7 yards. Second down got 1 yard. And then third down, we threw a play action pass and Morgan Hawley got tackled really hard. And it kind of, even though it was a no-zero game play, it felt like we had lost the momentum.
Yeah.
And Brooks West had a tremendous week of practice. He likes the kind of the right hash, right middle ball spot. And so we ran him out there. Snap was good, hole was good. We just missed it.
Yeah.
Nobody did anything wrong. It's just a miss that happens. But I did feel like at that moment, because again, you're sitting up, you got a chance to go up 12. Instead of going for it there, let's just take where we are. We had basically an extra possession with the safety. Let's just take these points and go play some defense because we've gone 3 and out. So you sit there, what you've seen for 3 plays was good. So I said, let's take the points and so he misses it. And then they proceed to drive down the ball. And sometimes those missed kicks are momentum swings. I didn't feel like that in the moment, but it's hard to argue after the drive that they went on, to go score. So we talk about our program. A missed kick, a block kick, as we talk about later, should not directly lead to anything, right? We have an opportunity to take that sudden change, that outcome that we thought was going to be different and do something about it. And we failed in both times. So we're working on that, our resolve, when we hit adversity, that kind of stuff. But, obviously Unger's a good player as it turns out,
sure.
Right?
That's where I was about to go. I was going to talk about Weston Keel first. He only had 1 touchdown on the night. It was a 46-yard touchdown run, but bigger than that, he had over 200 yards rushing. And this was, Weston Keel was a phenomenal athlete. But in looking back at coach's clips the other day and looking back at some of the huddle video, this was a total team effort opening up holes for Weston Keel.
It was. I was the balance of inside run, outside run, the perimeter blocking, the offensive line. It was just a total, like you said, offensive unit run success. And if you said, hey, 6 months ago, this guy that's running around here in Spring Fall is going to have 200 yards against Athens, I would have patted you on the back and say, okay, we'll see you next week, know. And so I'm just so proud of him. The toughness and maturity he's shown as a ball carrier. Yes, he's athletic, but man, he's gotten popped a few times and he runs up in there and he gets right back up. Just the steadiness of him. And then obviously when you see your running back doing that, I think it fuels the offensive line, right? And then when the offensive line's blocking that way, you say, hey, receivers, tight ends, it's time to do, so everybody's working so hard to produce this run game. And I mean, what fun it is to watch them. I've been offensive coordinator the last 3 years. It's kind of fun in my position to watch our team go have success, to go determine success. That's been a fun part for me.
I think we had our our biggest yardage output of the season, and we by far had our biggest scoring night, scoring 38 points on Athens. We do lose 41-38, and a lot of that came from Jackson Unger. You talked about the gentleman who played quarterback for Athens. He was running up and down the field.
He was. We had a plan going in for the other quarterback, number 17. Found out the kind of day of the game. We saw an extra bit of video where kind of like the broadcast NFHS where he got banged up at a point in that game, and then he also had some personal fouls. And so I think their coaches made a decision to make a move midweek, and what a plan it was, because I mean it was different than we prepared for. I joked that, he could be in this room with us and me and you couldn't tackle him. Yeah. He just had a way, to be slippery, but also fast, but also like the game was slow for him. You could tell. Mm-hmm. I coached at Auburn when Cam Newton was there, and like he never looked like he was moving fast, but no one touched him. Yeah. And so he had that kind of feel where he's moving slow, but nobody's taking good angles, and when they're there, he slips tackles. And so it's frustrating as a defensive background guy, and obviously for Coach Hopper and the defensive staff to give up that many yards rushing. That's not what I would have. If you said, hey, you're going to score 38, I'd taken that. I would have been surprised by the 41, the way we've been playing defense and preparing. It's just a different game plan, but mostly the athlete. They did a great job featuring everything he does well. And we missed some important tackles at important times.
Despite the big night he had, despite the fact that they blocked a punt on us and got an easy touchdown, we played a very good Athens team to a 3-point game. Our guys had the same effort at the final second of that ball game that I saw them playing with in the beginning.
Yes, sir. I think that was just, again, markers of your team, the process, the culture we're trying to build and buy into. It was there. It's still there. Like this week's been great preparation wise. I mean, they're not, you walk into that's what I told, we're blessed to have ABC 3340, doing our game as a Friday Night Rivals game of the week this week. So there's been a lot of interviews I've done in addition, just getting ready. And they were like, Coach, 0-3, what's it like? I said, we got joy in the building.
Yeah.
I mean, our players are enjoying coming to work, being with each other, being with their coaches. The coaches are enjoying coming. You would not walk into our building and say this is a team that hasn't won a game.
Yeah.
Now, as competitors, we want to put that first win in the win column. I want it for these seniors so bad because they have been nothing but the catalyst for this, what I consider changing the mindset, the attitude to have us in these games late. They are the backbone of that. Yes, they've got young players doing great things with the ball and on defense alongside them, but they have been the backbone of change for a couple of changes in head coaches. And so to get them a win at home against Jasper, I'm getting a little ahead, but I want that real bad for them.
Yeah. I started to say, what a better way to get that first win than to have 3-0 Jasper coming into 0-3 Coleman on a region game, a rivalry game. It's on radio here in Coleman. It'll be on television on ABC 3340, and we'll dive in more to Coleman and Jasper when we come back here in the Bearcat Den here live on Coleman's Live 95.
In 1952, 7 men at an aluminum plant banded together and started Lister Hill Credit Union with only $5 each. Today, more than 92,000 have joined us, continuing the legacy of supporting themselves and the community through Lister Hill. It's all about we and what we can do together.
Are you looking for a reliable ride at the lowest prices in town with financing? PNC Auto has you covered. Finance options for all credit types, good, bad, or ugly. Plus, a free vehicle report is available for each listing. You can get pre-qualified today online at mypcauto.com. And they offer a free 90-day powertrain warranty or free maintenance for a year. No, we're not kidding. Chad Johnson and Paul Carpenter are ready to help you drive away happy today. Chad is available at 256-493-2491, or Paul can be reached at 256-339-9932. PNC Auto on Highway 278 just past the Methodist Church, or online at mypcauto.com.
Guthrie's Auto Service has been providing quality automotive service since 1985. Located in Coleman on Eva Road, just north of 157, Guthrie's Auto Service is a AAA approved and Napa Auto Care Center, meaning their repair work is warranted up to 3 years or 36,000 miles, and because they're part of the Napa Auto Care Network, their work is also warranted at over 14,000 Napa Auto Care locations across the country. Terry Guthrie and his team are award-winning, collecting Napa's Auto Care Center of the Year for the Nashville Distribution Center and a People's Choice Award in 2020. More information is online at Guthrie'sAutoservice.net.
Looking to buy or sell your home? You can trust a team that treats you like family.
We're the Warhurst Team Realtors at SR4 Realty, a husband and wife real estate duo with deep roots and unmatched knowledge of the market.
We know every corner, every neighborhood, and what it takes to get you the best deal.
And our top priority, you. From your first showing to final closing, we're by your side every step of the way. Because when you work with us, you're not just a client, you're family. We're the Warhurst Team Realtors at SR4 Realty. Real estate with heart, hustle, and hometown care.
You can find us on Facebook or Instagram at the Warhurst Team Realtors.
Coleman's Live 95.
Live 95.5.
Welcome back into the Bearcat Den on Coleman's Live 95 and on Coleman's Live 95.5's Facebook page. If you've missed any of today's show, you can always go back and watch it again on Facebook, or I'll also put it up on my Voice of the Bearcats YouTube channel as well. Coleman's Live 95's YouTube channel as well will have the broadcast as well. Coach, before we move on to Jasper, a few more things I want to hit and touch on in the game last week at Athens. Colby Holt, once again on special teams. Thanks to all the guys ahead of him. You changed the block at Mortimer Jordan, sprung him loose last week. He had an 85-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. That's 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, you don't, again, 14 points in 2 weeks on special teams is, and if you had the safety, 16 points, that's not something you go in again, banking on in 6A football. But what a tremendous young man. Came to us from Locust Fork this summer. Had to figure out that dynamic of a Coleman locker room. Was probably the way our guys took him in. Yeah. He was somebody that he's not a natural extrovert, so he likes to be more turn inward with his emotions. And I mean, he didn't say many words at first, but he just kind of did his thing. The first time he ran a route, I said, "That's pretty good," And I do my homework after he got there. I pulled up his tape from Locust. I was just curious what kind of athlete we're getting, and so he's had he started to show some progress at receiver, and then. We were trying to figure out who the running back was going to be. At that point, Weston hadn't become what Weston's been, and he was also a guy who could be running back. We just saw multiple things. Even tried him at defense a little bit, So, and then we gravitated to helping us out at receiver where we were depth-wise, with Grayson not being able to be with us this year. And so that was the fit. He's taken it and ran with it. And then I saw his prowess as a returner, as in some of our summer work. And so I said, let's try him on kickoff return and punt return. So, he went from trying to do his own thing on return. I said, I promise you, let me block this thing for you. Yeah. You're going to like this when I get it going. And so we've worked together on that. And so, Athens had started, they were doing that sky kick. They started really crashing. They did a good job. They put the ball almost in the same spot every time. So their guys got very comfortable crashing to the sideline, crashing to the sideline. And we'd put in a counter punch, if you will, a type of return that took advantage of that. And so we called it. I got the perfect kick for it. Yeah. Everybody kind of lost their guy on purpose to the inside and slammed him in, and he went around the edge. And listen, that's all him. The scheme was there. He had to make a guy miss. And then I don't know if everybody saw, but Tyler Brock, the guy who's playing through a really bad high ankle sprain, he's gimping along and he sees the kicker. And I've seen the guy right there make a really selfish penalty, throw him down or something like that. He makes a very clean block, which is ultimately the block that sprung the rest of the touchdown. So what a moment for Tyler to put that on the board for our team. And then obviously Colby's excitement of we don't have records on stuff like that. I'd be curious to know when the last time Coleman went back-to-back games with a kickoff return. Those things just don't happen a lot in high school football and not in Coleman's history. So
last week at Mortimer Jordan, I think, or 2 weeks ago, it was a 91-yard return. If I remember right, and this one was 85. So he's got to be close to holding some school records.
He's got to be. That's what Coach Campbell. Coach Campbell kind of keeps stats. He's got. I need to dig up some stuff and find out kickoff return wise. I said at practice week, I said let's not stop the magic. Let's go for 3. Yeah. I'd really love to have one more this week against these guys. But what a tremendous player he's turned out to be. But I'll be honest with you. What I love about him is he's the least boastful person in our field house. Just about he blocks without the ball. He does all the things you want from a player who's having success. So super proud to have him.
We went back and forth, traded touchdowns. We'd have the lead. They'd get the lead. It comes down to the end of the ball game. I believe 5 minutes or so left. Our defense gets a huge stop and does exactly what we want them to do. Get the ball back in the hands of our offense with time running out of the ball game and us to have a chance to win.
A unique situation there for me to return that kickoff return. I believe there's, like you said, just under 5 minutes, maybe 4 minutes and something. And Coach Gleaton, again, who's, special teams coordinator, but also kind of like a senior advisor, I asked him, could you come be kind of a higher order thinking person for me on Friday nights? And he's like, hey, Coach, what do you think about going onside kick here? And of course, I'm a defensive guy. I love Matt Hopper. I'm thinking, no way, and I started thinking, I know what you're thinking, Coach. We haven't stopped him yet, have we? He said, no. And if you kick this deep and, and you don't stop them, they end the ball with the game in their hands. I said, you know what? We only need a field goal. We only need a field goal to tie. So field position wise is not as important as needing to drive a whole field. Yeah. And so I said, let's do it. And so I thought J.D. Elbury kicked a tremendous onside attempt, but Coach Gleaton and that unit have worked it over and over again, being prepared for that. We've joked. We have a situational script we do every Thursday, and 3 games we've checked off a lot. Yeah. But I've gone a whole season without kickoff after a safety. Kicking an onside kick week 3. We have done so many things already on that checklist that that's why we do it. But it's up to kids kind of buy into why we do the things we do on Thursday. But so we go onside kick. He kicks a great kick. It's the bounce you want. We just didn't get the bounce. The kick was the one we want. So they get the ball. I got 3 timeouts. We end up getting a stop with call the 3rd timeout, 2 minutes, something like that to go. And we're trying to decide, are they going to go for this? They're going to kick a field goal. We weren't sure. They run a play. We make a stop. Some guys that aren't typically out there make a stop. And so we're obviously, now we got the ball in a 2-minute drive. And we worked a 2-minute drive since preseason practice. So it was something our guys are comfortable in. I thought, for the most part, operationally, we were okay. it's kind of a unique thing over there on the sideline. They stopped us. They're kind of over, in my opinion, over officiating forward progress. If that, when Weston Kill got tackled on the sideline, if that would have been in the second quarter, they usually blow it dead. But they're really like, at the end of the game, they start to kind of, over officiate. Technically, by letter of the law, it was a progress inside, like all the ticks. Those are those lines down the sideline. He got forward progress stopped, but he went out of bounds. I think there's some gray there. So, I wish we had that extra stoppage to kind of get a play in, but we get a play in that we like. A play that we've had 6, 7, 8 yard success on 4th and 4, and they bowed up and made a stop there. We absolutely thought it was the right call, with what we'd done there and might actually spring it for even a bigger run. So, you learn things when you do 2-minute drill in practice versus a game. There's things that come out of that. You learn more about your actual operations and the stress point. So we've earned better because of it, but we would have loved to use that experience we had to drive down the field and kick a field goal, at least get a chance. Yeah. But the defense, again, I want to brag on them. So again, they had a really tough night, but when it mattered most, they had made the adjustments slowly and finally caught up to Athens, what they were doing offensively. Our young DBs were seeing the keys better, and when they pulled all their players, they were matching it. So we were meeting players at the ball, and that's how we got that stop. Was Coach Hopper and those defensive coaches just continued to chip away at the game plan, make the adjustments, and the players kept working on it. And again, when we needed the defense the most, they got the stop we needed. We just couldn't make a drive there at that point.
Yeah. We get Jasper tomorrow night in a big region game. They come in 3-0. Bearcats are still looking for our first win. I said a few moments ago, no better time to get that first win than tomorrow night against Jasper.
I tell you what, when you think about coming, here, it's not even the Jasper, but you think about a place that loves football, a football town, football. It's felt different this week. A lot more people grabbing that arm. How we looking, Coach? How are you feeling about this game? Like I said, you can tell there's a big game on the docket. It's a big game at home. Cause the atmosphere on campus, a lot more teachers stopping and talking about the game. It's been a really neat feeling to go through that experience. Like people really care about what's about to happen here in 24 hours.
It is a big rivalry game, but we've got to, as coaches, you've got to figure out how to take some of that rivalry emotion out and look at it as another game. Athens was big and methodical. Jasper, in my opinion, looks like they're a little faster, a little sleeker. And your thoughts on Jasper?
Yeah, we've used the word composure this week. Composure deals with the fact that you are in chaos, you are in a high intense situation, but you're still able to focus on your job and your responsibility. It doesn't mean not play with emotions. It just means you're able to understand when the play is happening, executing, but then you can enjoy celebrating with your teammates after that play. But just, that's kind of our word. I think Jasper presents a speed different than some of the size we saw at Athens. I think we're going to see the secondary is crazy fast. I mean, we get on the second level with Weston, they're going to close it up very fast. So we've got to have extended blocks with our receivers. Their running backs, number 3 and number 8 are both, number 3 is a senior. He runs angry. I mean, he runs really hard downhill. And then you add number 8, and then you add Smothers, the quarterback. Lincoln Smothers he's grown up a lot in a year's time. I mean, he is a very sleek runner, but also can throw the ball. Like he is a dual threat that we've spent a lot of time working on this week. He had 2 runs over 50 yards against Decatur. So he's a guy that we're definitely at number 7 having occupy a lot of our brain thoughts on.
Coleman Jeep is sponsoring Third Down, something we've got new here at Oliver Woodard Stadium for home games. Jeff Knopp and the quarterback club do a phenomenal job raising funds for your athletic program for football. We have a Coleman Jeep Third Down, and I announced that. We need our fans. When I say this is a Coleman, I'm looking at you here on Facebook and talking to you on the radio. When I say this is a Coleman Jeep Third Down, that is your key to go rabid in the stands and make it as hard on that Jasper offense on third down as we can.
Us old Coleman hats say the worst thing that happened was putting that track in. It removed the fans further away from the action. And when it's just like being in church, you sit in the back, you feel a little bit disconnected. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so we're hoping over time that we can create an environment in our stadium. I mean, the band is working hard on defense. When we're on defense, I mean, that band is pumping right over our head. It is an awesome amount of music being thrown at that offense, trying to execute. But, like I said, those fans, we're trying to create a joy and passion for the game on our sideline, and we're hoping that passion on our sideline will bleed up into the stands. But it never hurts to have it coming down on the sideline either. For sure. It's okay to inspire those guys to cheer harder on their own sideline from the stands. So I would love, like I said, I think we're having a great crowd. And like you said, It doesn't have to be a homecoming crowd. Let's get into it.
Yep.
You know, let's treat this like it is Coleman Jasper in that sense, and be into every down, and every swing of the game matters. You know, and just so they know, our young people they care. They know that stuff. Like when we have a big play and the crowd's behind them, they feel that. I mean, I'm just telling you, like, you know, I'm letting you know we feel that. The coaches feel that from an enthusiasm standpoint, and the opposite also is true.
Yeah. A lot of you will be going to Tuscaloosa or to Auburn on Saturday, and you're going to yell your lungs out there. You can do the same thing on Friday night too. You can save a little bit of that you're going to use on Saturday and let it out on Friday.
At my previous school, there was a game where Kirby Smart talked to his fans. Like, he used his media after the post game to talk to his fans about, you have a chance to impact the game. If Kirby Smart is telling Georgia fans that they have an impact, I promise you, Coleman Bearcat fans have an opportunity to help us as well.
Yeah, for
sure. I was proud he said that, 'cause as coaches, sometimes we talk about the X and O's, but we need it. You know, it creates the energy in the stadium, and our guys feed off of that. And our guys are playing hard. They're believing in each other. That extra juice just helps them play that much harder for their community and their hometown.
Yep. They've put it together all spring and summer long, and this fall they deserve you hollering for them and cheering them on here tomorrow night as we take on the Jasper Vikings. Coach, another big region game, a chance for you to get that first win for your seniors and a first win for your team, and who knows where that'll catapult us as we get into the rest of the season. Talk about what it's going to take to get a win tomorrow night against Jasper.
Yeah, I think it's going to take, we're talking about take care of the ball, value the ball. We have not had a takeaway yet, on defense. So we've really got to create some adversity for the other team's offense. On offense, we've got to continue. We've done a good job, I think, overall protecting the ball. We got a perfect ball execution on that. I think we're going to have to gang tackle the running backs. If we try to do a lot of one-on-one tackling like we did last week, that's not who we are. Coleman's always been built on gang tackle, multiple guys at the ball, one guy get them hold up, and then everybody's coming in to get their shots, try to get the ball out. And then ultimately just staying the course through the game. Our young people have showed tremendous resolve to take adversity on the road. We're down now 3 times on the season, double digits on the road. And to come back from that, let's be self-starters. Let's try to not wait till we're down and rally the troops. Let's go ahead and be the aggressors and be confident. We talked about the record in the series. There were stretches that Walker County really had our number in 2005. If you look at the numbers, it's swung towards us. And so to walk in the stadium with the belief that matters, that we have a job and responsibility to do for all those teams before us that came in this game and played well. We have a job to uphold. Tradition demands excellence is one sign that's on our wall. Excellence is going to be demanded tomorrow night of our young people and our coaches and all that. And so I'm excited about putting that on display for our hometown.
Yep. People talk about communities being football communities, and on Friday night, it's a ghost town because everybody's at the game. That's what we need tomorrow night at Oliver Woodard Stadium. We need you in the stands cheering on our Bearcats as we take on Jasper tomorrow night in a region game. Kickoff set for 7 o'clock. That's going to wrap up this week's edition of the Bearcat Den. For Coleman head coach Trent Walker, I'm Tommy Warhurst saying
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Live 95.5.
When I wake up in the morning, I see nothing for miles and miles and miles.